sorts of changes in nurse and itemization changes.
And there it is.
And here we
Spirit
go.
brought out the Kindred. Exactly what you wanted, Papa Smithy.
And we're here.
Oh God, Spirit is just going to get poked back. Immediate exhaust comes in. Tucson understood where he needed to be, but it's not going to be good enough. And first blood goes over to Griffin.
Griffin ahead of the play.
This is a really good ganking, roaming support. Pretty sure Pyke is up there, and he's, speaking of up there, in the top lane as Keen. Has at least the ultimate running, but can they burst him down is the question. They're tanking up this turret as best they can, but Keen, he's on a merry jaunt towards the enemy base, and he ain't surviving. Tarzan grabs his second.
So close to completing that business, but damn, it's going to be close.
Yeah, well, I think that the teleport's not going to be fast enough, and Keen, he thinks so too. Taken down, the minion wave eradicated as well. Might even be able to get that one to the LCK. Afrika want to take down this outer turret on the bottom side. It's not a tempo advantage, though. This is going to be the second turret going down, the first being taken on the top side of the map.
Probably a point in this game where Griffin starts to fall away in terms of the 5v5. But I think first, second item purchases, Ricky. But 5v5s, that's later. Let's talk about now.
Yeah, we've got another spike. Tucson probably pretty happy about that if they want to start this fight. Headbutt Pulve is still there as Trouble Bubble does land ultimate. My God, has to be used, but very late from Tucson as there's death from below. Just destroyed by Lehens. He wants another one, gets the skewer. Not going to be able to grab too much more, but will get the extra gold, given the fact that he just got the kill. The Pyke's starting to pop off. We're at 4-0 now. Griffin in complete control.
They're so far ahead of the enemy team. The teleport behind from Sword was perfect. The pick was because they had the extra vision. We knew it was going to start with a bone skewer. That's the reality. Health bar went from 800 to 200 in like half a second, so I don't really know what happened there. As,
I know that he's getting bonked.
Yep.
Yeah, that phone call that Keen was on, yeah, it was a flashy one in the end. Picks up the kill very, very easily.
Top lane with no teleport, and the rest of the members of Griffin weren't on the same page. That was the first noticeable mistake we saw there from Lehens.
Oh, speaking of mistakes, Kuro, the solo kill, so easy onto the Gnar.
Maybe he compared some notes with Scout.
Yeah, broken here by Tucson. Good Trouble Bubble, lands onto the Aatrox, but Viper able to get a fair bit of work done as Kuro pops over the wall. The vision control is going to be there, but the teleport now comes down. Last breath, very, very late, but the use does come in from aiming. Immediately flashes out, though, as Afrika Freaks taking so much damage in Sword. Mega Gnar at the right time. Death from below is everywhere, but doesn't get the reset. Afrika Freaks still have to run away.
Means Griffin will get this one for free.
Yep. Under Afrika's nose, but one mountain
to get into fights. One get into these ones is Tarzan looking for aiming.
Yep, it's got no one to get to. Actually, just going to jump on with the last breath. Has to flash to get out of the way. Goes golden now as Tucson finally will turn up, and Spirit's going to be there with the Lamb's Respite to try and keep him alive. Ultimate is on cooldown as aiming wants to try and utilize that extra armor penetration, but Tucson, there's no ult. This time it's Chovy. The flanking play comes in, tries to find the knockups as Lamb's Respite just makes it the Thunderdome. Tucson, huge pulverized knockup, but they've traded 1 for 1. The Kindred is still alive for a long time, but Sword just boops Kuro out of the fight. And now Keen, 1 versus 4, ain't gonna get anything done. Spirit's just cleaning up a minion wave saying, Keen, I'm sorry, buddy, you're on your own. And he is now in the death chamber.
And the timing there.
Keep himself alive. And now it means Baron. Griffin are going to easily take this one down. Spirit fighting against Sword, but remember, Sword's got a whole bunch of items, and Lehens is here to try and help. Oh, God. Yeah, tried to go for the death from below, but Tucson's still going to suffer the wrath, had his ultimate, but that boot back is the wrong way. Blast Cone not helping him, in fact hindering.
Sword is split pushing with a high AD and attack speed build. Afrika's being pulled apart, and they desperately want a way to actually force Griffin in a 5v5, but maybe after the pesky Baron is gone.
Yeah, it's 2.5 minutes though, and it's already 8,000 the gold lead. This inner turret's certainly going to go down as, oh God, the Hemo Plague, allowing for so much extra burst damage. Chovy right in amongst the fight. He is the world ender right here. Lamb's Respite underneath the dang turret, and the heal does nothing. Spirit's going to explode. Viper just having the time of his life in the back line. Double kill for the Vladimir. Keen's going to go as well, as the Pyke will use the death from below to secure a couple of kills on the back end.
And is that the winds of change? Is Griffin the team to break the hold that the big teams have had over Korea? We won't know that for a long time, but for game 1 we said, how can they do in the draft against the best drafting team? Pass marks there. The execution after 2 weeks of waiting was worth the wait.
Damn right it was. 28 minutes and they dispatch Afrika Freaks.
Very stable and nice. A top lane Gragas. However, the sad point there is why not just pick Mundo into the Gragas and have a farm lane, and then eventually, conditional, probably needs a flash to get there. These are the all lanes we talked of.
Abyssal Voyage is going to come in. Sanguine Pool very early. Viper does have the flash. He's going to use it with a flash immediately after Spirit from Lehens. He's completely alive and untouched as he gets the heals in at the right time, and it's in fact Viper that gets the kill.
Outnumbered, they still make it work. That's summon a heal, ult, and a W, and that was enough to keep Viper alive with his ult heal as well. They're coming back in to try to kill Crane. Drake as a freebie. Everything going the way of Griffin again, and this is a play that was started by the Afrika Freaks.
Yeah, Chovy going to come down and help out. Viper as well just throws himself a Q in there. We'll move back to this through that wall, but Spirit has to dodge briefcases, and Kuro hanging around here.
Nice.
Chovy's going to come in. Yeah, you got the barrel to boot back sword, but he does have the ultimate available to him, but there's grievous wounds. The Wish comes in. He's got a stopwatch as well, and now finally Chovy gets in. That's the Arctic Assault, and they kill the Gragas very quickly. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and the rotation is there from Afrika, but is that just more kills? Disintegration Ray comes down. Silence is too late as Chovy eventually falls, and now Kuro gets the cleanup. Afrika even out the kills.
Afrika able to clean it up because
Viper is in this fight as well. That's going to be what makes all of the difference, as Griffin tanking a bit of damage onto Tarzan as Chovy and Sword make their way forward. Keen does find himself the ult, but it's not really the one that they want, as they're still holding on. Into the backline goes the Vladimir, and the dash cannon secures the kill. The Wish, they're at perfect timing yet again, and Kramer this time, Disintegration Ray isn't what we wanted. Tarzan picks himself up the Eye of the Void, and now Sword is just chasing Keen to the ends of the earth. Oh no, don't worry, the phone call got
to brawl for a while to get a last breath, so why not live a little bit longer is kind of how Chovy's looking at it. So don't mind the pickup. He did register, but not enough to get a kill. Don't think Lehens can keep everyone topped up, so nice siege here for Afrika.
Yeah, this is what their composition certainly can do. With all of the poke flying in, and they just brute force the outer turret in the mid lane. Completely even gold right now as Lehens takes so much damage. The heal has to be used. Flash as well as Viper just runs in on his own. Hemoplague's going to give him back a whole host of his health bar. And now Tarzan's looking for it. Sword comes in with the teleport. You felt like maybe it was Viper just on a one-man effort, but of course not. This is Griffin, and it's always a team effort. They've got two so far, and everyone's running away. They'll grab the turret as well, and Afrika Freaks a little bit too far forward.
Turning that one around.
Sword, he's gone back to base. Now going to join the rest of his team as Ultimate has to play out. Tarzan needs to get out of here, but he can't. Kuro picks that one up, and Viper tries to go for the flank yet again, but this is not what we wanted. Flash over the pillar, immediately answered by Spirit, but Hemoplague gives him back a whole bunch of his health bar, and even has the Crimson Rush to help out as well. Meanwhile, in the backline, Tucson taking so much as Chovy, skirting this fight. Viper somehow still alive, as well as Sword gets himself to exactly the position that he wants. And Kramer doesn't have the Disintegration Ray available yet as well. My God, I don't know how. 10 years ago.
Whoa, you were playing pre-release 10 years ago?
Yeah, pre-release. Got my hands on it in Australia.
ARAM 5v5. I think the items in for Griffin is Tarzan.
Yep, knockup's going to come down onto Spirit, and he's dead. Chovy easily picks that one up. His new gold freaks are going to let them do that. Remember, all of the disruption is here, and if they're busy with the Baron, could be an opportunity, as Sword does not take a lot of damage at all. We've got double Morellonomicon, but it looks like it doesn't even matter as Hemoplague flies forward. Viper once again gets backline access. Hemoplague pops, and he just jumps over the geometry. Will get knocked up, actually no, but tanks the trouble bubble, and Wish has to be used to keep TP. Yep, teleport is going to come through. It's going to get Kramer into the fight. Can set himself up as he gets very, very close to Griffin, who are now losing their health bars. And I don't think that they can get this Baron at this particular point in time. Sword avoids the knockup. Super Soaker goes completely wide. And Afrika Freaks, they were actually thinking of heading over to the Baron. Now Griffin trying to turn this one on its head. Do they have the cooldowns back off and available, though, as Hemoplague not up? Last breath could potentially be in here as Chovy flashes himself out of the way, and who's going to overextend? It's going to be Chovy, as it's Kuro that dives into the back lane. Ultimate is going to come down as Griffin still want the fight, as Sword just wailing on top of them. Now teleports to fly in, and Sword, despite the fact that he's basically unkillable, he does not have a team. Tarzan, flashes to get over the other side of the explosive cast, because we zoom once again. In on Sword, taking basically no damage, eventually falls.
He has to actually... what is even happening?
I'm not entirely sure. But Tucson is going to survive in the end, as we discover that Baron, not a fan of Shellfish.
This Baron almost getting the triple kill.
Yeah, very, very close. But they do get it in the end.
Costly one for them. It's going to be an interrupting Drake. All this really does is spawn the Elder, which will come about 41 minutes into the game. Big moment for Afrika. They really needed to be about the poke. They got the poke down because you saw Griffin be too staunchly on Baron, too stubborn in their Baron setup. And Afrika could find a lot of standing gold in these pushes.
Yeah, he's going to be equalized somewhat here by Sword. Afrika moving towards the inner turret on the bottom side, but the Mundo doing the same thing on the top. Can Griffin actually defend is the question.
They don't have much wave because they kind of need a teleport flank from Viper, and he's still in base.
He's waiting for it. Yeah, he wants that home guard teleport option. Is teleport available from Sword as well? You can feel Griffin is stewing something right now.
That's the wall he would go onto. Keen's clearing it, so the Vladimir has to walk
There's one behind that wall as well if he wants to try and get in that way. Teleports haven't been utilized just yet, but the tower does fall down. The poke composition working thus far. Kuro going to get time as they're trying to set up for the dream play. Sword is going to walk his way forward. Sadism still available, remember, so this damage doesn't really mean anything at all as Viper finally makes his way around. Will the Hemoplete be there? Oh God, Spirit! That was a beautiful pillar, but the knock-up is going to be in there. Tucson saves the Gragas as the Wish is down as well in the fight. It's just taking so long. Lahan's already out of it, but they picked up Keen on the back end. It's a double as Kuro falls, and Spirit just prolonging the inevitable. Sword grabs another one off that, and Griffin. This is exactly what we were talking about. Disintegration Ray wasn't even used in that fight because Kramer was never safe enough to utilize it, and Devour had to be used on a Gragas.
And now a lot is happening. They're sieging mid lane. Viper is split pushing as well. Still the death time at 10 seconds on Kuro. So long. No change on death time as after level 8.
Yeah, exactly right. We are well past that. It's 38 minutes into the game almost as Chovy, he's got a hell of a lot of damage. He's going to let the minions complete the inner turret. And I have a feeling this could be very
interested in RSVPing to that fight.
Yep. He's waiting to press his boots button as he's already set himself up. Predator is off. He's waiting to get in on the other side, but that's a really nice ward.
But
what it's doing is buying time for the Baron, though. There was no way that they could lose in that scenario. I'm going to go with no.
Well,
and that's going to be an Elder Drake. Very easily picked up. Now they get a free back.
They make a wrong decision and lose. Griffin were able to get a Baron for free because of their setup. It was appropriate. They had the less Kramer can be taken out instantly.
Wow, that is so much damage availability from Viper, but the Disintegration Ray not going to disintegrate too much. Just did a bit of damage there to Tarzan, and Sword split pushing on the top side. No one is doing any damage to this Mundo whatsoever.
And they can actually look for a dive now because the Vel'Koz ult's down, and Atlas, they don't have damage when the Vel'Koz ult's on cooldown to kill the members of Griffin.
No. They don't have any damage to kill Sword, but thankfully he's not near this fight. Teleport is going to bring Viper back in, looking for that flank like we talked about.
Remember,
stuff
this time.
Yeah, and the mid inhibitor turret is not there. He's just going to book it right into the back line. No Disintegration Ray, no worries here for Viper, as Kuro may just die as an afterthought. Dash Cannon picks it up, flashes forward, Crimson Rush. So much work to be done. Just goes Golden with his Zhonya's, and everyone's just diving the fountain. Griffin, it's looking like the 2-0 of Afrika Freaks. Nothing they could do in that last fight. Honestly, if Viper doesn't get this MVP, I will eat a metaphorical